got some Norm MacDonald coming up. This routine or bit was recommended to me. I don't remember who recommended it, but it was on my list when I went looking for some new material to check out because I'm trying to, diversify my stand-up routine material some. Don't want to use up one specific person's stuff right away. So, and everybody's got their own style. So I like sort of switching it up, even though I really want to get back to Bill Burr. Maybe sometime this week. We'll see. I also want to try to get to Jim Jeffries' thing on gun control this week. I'll try to do that. Anyway, this particular one is called 12-Minute Joke. Did I say that already? I don't think I did. If I did, sorry. It's once again early morning. And this video is going to be 12 minutes long, more than 12 minutes long. And my computer has been cleaned out and new thermal paste put on it. And it does seem to be helping quite a lot by about 20 to 30 degrees Celsius, which is great. So I think my computer should be able to handle this just fine. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. I have no clue what this is about. It was just on my list. So let's see. Oh, I am a little familiar with Norm MacDonald. I do know who he is. I have seen him before on shows or whatever. I couldn't tell you now a specific bit of his or joke of his or anything like that. So I'm going into this pretty blind. Let's see.
Now listen, man, I like the news. You guys like the news?
No.
I always watch the news, and I'll tell you something about the news. I don't understand it. But it's for some reason I watch it. I don't even know why. But I think I'm supposed to or something. So I'll watch it, and then the guy will come on and he'll go, anyways, today the deficit. And then I'll go, I've heard that word. And the guy goes, today the Dow Jones NASDAQ Composite Index is down. And then I go, that's not good.
Okay.
Down. Up. I like when it's up. That's my opinion on the...
But he doesn't understand it, right? He doesn't know.
Seems like there's too much news, because now they have 24-hour news. Now, when I was a young boy, the news was half a hour. That was the whole news, And a guy would come on and he'd have a tie, and shit, and he would say the news. And it was a half a hour long. Now, it's 24 hours long. Now, it turns out that back in the old days when it was only half an hour, they had it about right. That's about all the news there is. Even then, there'd always be like some fucking story at the end about a caribou or some horse shit. So there wasn't even enough to fill the half an hour. But 24 hours, way too long. So they have to keep repeating stories all the time and everything, and make up stories, They do that a lot. Make up things that aren't really news stories, but they have to, fill the 24 hours, And the one I noticed that they make up a lot, this is the latest one I've seen. I see this all the time on the news. The newsman will come on, he'll go, good evening, everybody. This is the newsman. Whatever he says, he's not going to say that. And he goes, our top story tonight, a lady has vanished. That's the story. And then he goes, let's go outside where there's another guy. So then they cut to outside. And then there's a guy outside, and he's like, hey, listen, how's it going inside? We're outside, and we found out about this lady that vanished. Her name was Janice, and they found her car here in the Taco Bell parking lot. And don't worry about the car, it's fine. But can't find hiding her hair of the lady. Well, back to you. So then you're watching, you go, well, I don't give a fuck on account I never knew Janice in the first place. Matter of fact, I'm kind of happy it's Janice and not somebody I know. But then what they do is they start telling you about Janice, And they go, hey, we found out some cool things about Janice. And you're like, no, that's cool. I don't want to hear it. They go, no, you want to hear it. They can't help themselves. So they go, let's go back to Bill. He's still outside. And how's it going, Bill? And Bill's like, it's all right. It's no inside, but it's cool. And anyways, we found out about Janice. Turns out she's a good lady. And we found some friends of hers, and here they are. And then sure enough, they show a lady, and it says, friend of Janice. And she says, I'll tell you something about Janice. You want to hear about Janice? Janice is the type of lady that you could always turn to. You know, you ever want to turn to somebody? Like if you got a problem or something, and you feel like you want to turn. You ever do that? Or maybe your neck just hurts and you want to anyways. The point of it is that once you swiveled your head over this way, the person you'd most want to see in your eye line would be Janice.
Okay.
And then they have another friend of Janice that wasn't the first one. And she'll go, I'll tell you, Janice, oh my God. She was the type of lady that she could walk into a room and light up the whole room, you know? And she didn't have a fucking lighter, not like that. She would just somehow, through sheer tyranny of will, she could somehow
The way he works
illuminate a room. I don't know. And that would be Janice's third friend lady that's not one of the earlier two. And then she goes, I'll tell you about Janice. Is that who you're asking about, Janice? Janice was the type of lady that you could be talking to your best friend in the whole world, and then Janice come in and you go, fuck you, I'm talking to Janice. Because Janice is better than you. Come on, let's face
pretty
it.
awesome, isn't she?
She's better than all of us. So anyways, then you're at home, and you start liking Janice, you know what I mean? You start getting invested in her, you go, God damn, that Janice is a cool lady. I would like to meet her one day. That would be a lot of... Fuck, I forgot she vanished. Just my luck. They'll find her. Then you get hope. That's not good. I don't give a fuck what Obama says. Hope is never good. Don't try it. Never works out. So you go, oh man, they'll find Janice. They're putting pictures up of her on telephone poles. I think that had worked once. And then the news keeps showing you more things about Janice, you know? And they'll show you like the home videos of her. You're like, God damn, look at that. She's eating a pizza. I like her hair like that. They'll find her. And then you become obsessed with Janice. It's all you can think of, you know? You're at work, fucking just can't wait to get home, agonizing over Janice, you know, and thinking about her with eating pizza and shit. And then you go home, and your nights are just fevered dreams of,
Okay.
you know, Janice and bangs and shit like that. And all you can do is turn on the TV and hope, and you know, and then one day, you know, they go, hey, more news on Janice. Here's the Bill, he's still outside. And then Bill is like outside, and he's like, here we are. Where, as you can see behind me, they are scouring the woods. They're still searching for Janice, you know. And then you go, oh fuck, not the woods. You know, that's not. Nothing good ever happens in the woods. I've seen enough of these fucking stories to know that Janice ain't coming bounding out of the woods anytime soon. That's it. It's like, hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm just taking a stroll through the woods. What are you taking my picture for? I just take a stroll through the scraggly woods. Now, if they find you in the woods, they always find you in the same place. Every time they will find you in a shallow grave.
It's like a formula.
I don't know why they don't just look there in the first place. If I was the police chief, I'd go, listen, I want every shallow grave in the vicinity checked out. I want to clear up this case by Tuesday on account of I'm running for DA or whatever. But doesn't shallow grave seem a mite rash? You know, like these serial killers are supposed to be so shrewd and cunning and everything, you know? At least according to the TV movies I've seen. And but then when it comes time for the grave, they get a little hasty, you know. Well, there you go, 3 twigs and a leaf. That ought to do it. That doesn't look like Janice anymore. I don't recall
Probably
Janice ever
didn't.
wearing 3 leaves and a twig. Oh well. Guess I'll go home and await the authorities now. You gotta prepare these things, you know? You gotta be a little smarter than that. You know, what I would do, and I would never, ever kill a lady in cold blood. I know I say that now. I don't really know. I can't predict the future, but I don't believe I know there's no river long enough doesn't contain a bend, but I believe that right now, and it might just be vanity, I don't think I would kill a woman in cold blood. But if I did, I would plan it out very carefully, you know, because there's a lot at stake. You know, you think about it, you probably, probably lose your job. I don't know what happens. That's a blemish on the old CV, you know? Even in today's enlightened society, there remains a stigma to being a psychosexual sadist.
Yeah, wonder why.
But what I would do is I would look at the lady, I would select a lady, and then I would follow her habits. You understand what I'm saying? Like I would watch her very carefully, you know? And I go, hey, I noticed that every day she goes to that cheese sandwich shop, and then she comes out with a little paper bag. I'll bet you anything there's a cheese sandwiches in there. You know? So then I'd keep that in my head, you understand? Then I'd say, hey, I notice every Wednesday evening she goes with her other lady friends and they go down to the YWCA and they play basketball with each other, which is fine nowadays, you know? So what I would do is on Wednesday I would go down to the YWCA and what would I be holding in my right hand in the parking lot?
Cheese sandwich?
But a cheese sandwich. So then she would eventually come out of the YWCA, you know, all sweaty with her, her ridiculous 3-colored ball and everything there, you know, and I'd be standing there. And then she'd go, hey, what's in your right hand? And I'd go, nothing. I'd be coy, you know. And she'd go, there's something in your right hand. I go, listen, lady, who knows more about what's in their right hand? You or me? I believe, this. Now, this is just a cheese sandwich. Why, you like them or something? I got a whole fucking van full of them over there. Right over there. Yeah, that craziest looking fucking van you ever saw. That's filled with cheese sandwiches.
Lure her in with cheese sandwiches instead of candy for kids.
You don't have to have cheese sandwiches in the van, by the way. If unless you want to be known for your detailed work, it's not really necessary. Then I would get the lady in the van and I would drive her to a remote area, an area most known for its remoteness. That's what I would look for. And anyways, I'd take her to the remote area where I had constructed a shed, and then I would get her in there and I would do that thing that makes me feel like God, and then her screams would just bounce off the walls and
Really
echo out into nowhere and never touch the ear of civilized man again. And then I would take her body to the woods and bury her in a very, very, very deep grave.
The best kind of grave, right? Okay, that ended abruptly. I wasn't expecting that to end so quickly. But, okay, so what are these other ones? What's this one? Okay. Well, so when I first went looking for this bit, I only found one video, and I clicked through to see the quality of it and everything, and it's kind of fuzzy. Not the best. I think like the highest it'll go is 240. And I went to other people's um, reactions to this to see if there was a better source that I just hadn't found. Because sometimes the right source doesn't pop up in the first page when you're looking. And nobody had left a link to their source material. And I did see the beginning of one girl's commentary on it before she started watching it. And she said something about that she'd heard this was a really funny, there was a really funny video. So, it was funny to me, but it wasn't like, full on body spasm laughter funny. I mean, it was funny in a quiet sort of uh, sarcastic way. I think it's just his brand of humor, because every comedian is different with their own style, and some I feel more drawn to than others. He's got this droll sort of just dry. It's sarcastic, but it's not pretending to be sarcastic. What am I? I'm trying to say these things right, and I really shouldn't be doing this so early in the morning. It's like he's not trying to be sarcastic. I mean, he is, but his manner of delivery is not to be sarcastic, but what he's talking about and the way he is talking about it is sarcastic. Almost like he's kind of clueless, about what he's talking about, but it's really sarcastic. This went in a direction I was not expecting because he first started talking about the news, and he was talking about how the news is on, 24/7. And when he was a kid, it was just, the news was on 30 minutes. What was actually, they would have morning local news. And then in the evening, they would have evening local news plus 30 minutes of national news, which they still do that, but now they've got the 24-hour, 7 days a week news. And I feel that news format has been one of the single most destructive elements in society today, because it's the constant churning and manufacturing of stories. And when I say manufacturing, I don't necessarily mean lies, though some things have been outright lies. I mean trying to just gin up a story where there isn't really a newsworthy story that the public should even care about or get invested in. It's just, and it's like there's a lot of repetition to it, and they have to keep the audience engaged. That's the whole intent. But in the meantime, it feels like through the course of doing that, it's just like they're just generating all this panic and this furor and people getting upset and mad, and they're all captivated by the news, and people either have CNN or MSNBC or Fox News on all the time, and it gets people whipped up into either fear, fear, anger, discontent, and it just feels like it breeds a lot of discord in society. That's what the news media of today makes me think. I feel like journalism in large part is pretty much dead. There's so much unethical reporting. It's quite disgusting. And this year has been one of the most revealing to me as far as the way journalists behave. Not that I didn't know it before, but it's like everything just kind of came to a head for me this year. And so I just stopped watching news. Not that I watched it all the time anyway, but I would check in every day just to, see the headlines, and I would go to, headline sites to see what was going on. And those are always really dramatic and sometimes very misleading the way the headline is captioned. And then you actually go to read the story, which not everybody goes to read the story. They just see the headline and they think that's the story. And a lot of times the headline's actually a lie. That sort of stuff really pisses me off when that happens, and it happens a lot. So then you've got people like regurgitating this misinformation, and it gets passed around, and then everybody believes it, and then by the time the actual truth comes out, it's too late because everybody believes it still. And even when you show them the facts and the truth about the matter, they don't care because they want to believe it, because I guess it confirms their bias. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent that his routine wasn't about, but that's what I was thinking of when he started talking, and I didn't expect it was going to go the route of serial killer. But I thought it was kind of funny how he talked about, I would never kill a woman in cold blood, but if I was going to, this is how I'd do it. And he's got it all planned out, very methodical, exactly the way a serial killer thinks. That doesn't mean, obviously, that he is one, but we all know that that's anybody who sort of has paid attention to that sort of thing, they know that's how serial killers operate. In fact, serial killers, I was going to say, they typically take more care in disposing of the bodies, but not always. Nope. Some people, like Ted Bundy, people like him, Zodiac killer. So many of them will just, they don't take care to dispose of a body properly. But some of them do, and some of them operate the way they do for a long, long time, and sometimes they're never caught. Anyway, but yeah, this was funny. It was humorous, but it was more of a kind of a low-key sort of humor. His delivery is very calm, and just kind of like he's just talking to you and just kind of telling you the way things are. And this is just, so it's just different. And I don't know if it's just because it's late, or if it's just I'm not clicking with him as well as I have with some of the other comedians that I've watched. But I've got a couple of other routines of his or bits of his listed on the little list that I've made on my Todoist app. And so I will check out what has been recommended. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera. I will check out what has been recommended to me. But if there's anything more specifically funny, like really, really funny, let me know. But I think this is just his style. And while yes, I do find it humorous, like I said, it's more of a kind of a subdued humor. So a lot of the people laughing in the audience were laughing, really hard. It didn't generate that in me. I'm not complaining. It was funny. It was interesting to listen to his style, and I like comparing the different methods and mannerisms of these various comedians. And I find that the ones that get a little bit more physical and a little bit more frantic, not necessarily like constant yelling, but like, frantic, and their delivery is very colorful and just very, I don't know, the facial expressions. Norm MacDonald has a very sort of set facial expression. It doesn't change too much. He's got that same sort of, kind of halfway smile on his face, sort of halfway clueless type look, because that's just part of his delivery. And I'm not saying clueless as far as, or like it for it to be insulting or anything like that, but that's just kind of the look that he gets. It's part of the way he's conveying his humor, like that like the sarcasm, but he's not playing it like it's supposed to be sarcasm. He's playing it like he's supposed to be sort of clueless, but really he's being sarcastic. If that makes any sense. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. Anyway, I've yammered quite a bit. Yes, quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this to a close, and see you guys later. Okay, well.